to everyone. I'm getting you live from our research and development labs in the United Arab Emirates. Welcome to Vegitech. My name is Bhaskar. I'm the Chief Agronomy Officer at Vegitech. I've been into hydroponics from the last 2.5 decades nearly, specializing in vegetable cultivation in hydroponics, both solution and media culture in GCC. So, I first of all thank Sudarshanam Garu and the Venkateswara University for inviting me for this, to present myself for this webinar. The topic of mine would be like, scope and opportunities of hydroponics. Before we would discuss, I would like to make everyone understand the scope and opportunities for hydroponics. Why is it so relevant at this present day and over the years to come? Why should we be doing hydroponics? What would be the market size, the job market classification? And there will be a lot of statistics that I'll be getting into so that you actually understand where we stand and where the opportunities are and where the scope is. Then there would be a brief few slides on the grower perspectives with reference to the Indian context and also to the global context. And finally, I would be sharing a surprise crop, actually, how to feed the world with this surprise crop. I'm just going to do my screen sharing now. So, before we start, as I've already told you, how can we feed the world? By 2050, it's always mentioned in any of the seminars, in any of the world presentations on food safety and food security. 9.7 billion people will be required to be fed. So from today onwards, in 30 years, the world will need around 100% more food than we produce today. And you could see the graph that the world will be requiring 1 billion tons of all these items that you're seeing there on the screen, additional grains, livestock, human consumption for millions of peoples, and biofuels and all this. So you've got the wheat, the maize, the rice. So how do we address this world hunger today? Or how do we double the global production so that we could feed the ever-growing population? I have a few queries here. Is it by farming more land? If you farm more land also, that would give you only 20% of the way. If you're raising more animals, yes, but you will be, it is not a sustainable solution. There'll be immense greenhouse gas emissions. So is it the old-fashioned way of feeding the 9 billion people? No. No, says the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization. So what is the solution? The solution would be just one word, which is technology. So food can be produced only with new technologies that would require skill development, mechanized commercial farming, urban ag, precision ag, and controlled environment agriculture. Technology and collaboration is the key to abundant food, affordable food, and a safe, healthy, and nutritious food. Now, before we get into the scope, I would like to just share the hydroponic market size, because I would like to specify only on hydroponics. My previous speakers have already spoken on aeroponics. So you see the Asia Pacific hydroponic market, just for your knowledge, is around 63.72 million US dollars last year. And this is growing at a rate of 16.8 CAGR. So you could see the potential in this sector. MENA hydroponic market is 85.35 million US dollars. And by 2030, in the next 10 years, within the next 10 years, it would raise to 15.5% cumulative annual growth rate. Okay, so the US hydroponic market is expected to reach around, the figures are huge, 3,695 million US dollars. That would be a 20.3% CAGR. And the Europe market by 2024, in the next few years, it would be US dollars 14 billion. This is the market size that could be expected, and it is ever growing. Now, the hydroponic CEA is the controlled environment agriculture, urban ag cultivation. See, the global hydroponic market is expected to grow, as I already mentioned, at 226.45 million, and it will reach 724 million by 2023, which is on an average of 18. When you average it out from all the sectors, from all the sections, from all the continents, it goes to around 16 to 17%. Among this, when we talk of smart greenhouse, I will discuss about smart greenhouses later. Smart greenhouse market is projected at around 2.1 billion USD by 2025. It was at this present day, it is 1.4 billion USD, but that would go up to 2.1 billion USD by 2025. So you could see the immense scope that is available in this section of the farming industry. Now, the urban ag market classification. The urban ag market classification is classified basically on equipment, on aggregates, or by crop. When we talk of equipment, we talk of HVAC, which is heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, LEDs, light emitting diodes, grow lights, communication, technology, irrigation systems, materials handling, control systems, all these systems that are involved, the software systems that are involved, and also the hardware. By aggregates, we mean the growing systems. It could be a closed system, as Dr. Sudarshan was explaining about ebb and flow, drip irrigation, DWC, Dutch bucket system, floating raft, hydroponics, aeroponics, aquaponics. So these are by the systems. So the market is classified by equipment, by the aggregates, that is by the system of cultivation, and the next is by the crop. The crop and the systems go in tandem because it depends upon the system. The system depends upon what crop are you growing. So both are interrelated. Crops could be tomatoes or leafy vegetables and cucumbers, peppers inside greenhouse, smart farming greenhouses, or it could be something like the indoor vertical farm, which you see behind me, LED assisted, which could grow leafy greens and microgreens and strawberries. So various classifications of market is always a very good point for us to understand where the future generation has to target, where the scope lies, and where the opportunities are. See, the job market classification based on systems, I would like to stress most on the systems as a grower from the growing perspective and for the future of the country or of the nation or the world, the agriculture graduates or those enthusiasts who are really interested in cultivation of crops for themselves or for their communities, or it could be even commercial. It's like the hydroponic segment, aggregate systems, which are closed and open system, liquid hydroponic systems, which is NFT. When I'm talking of aggregate systems, it is soilless, of course, but it has a grow media. It could be coco peat, it could be perlite, it could be rock wool, it could be leca, it could be any inert media which helps in growing the plant. Liquid hydroponics is directly the NFT systems, what we're talking about. And we are talking about the aggregates of all this grow media, coco peat, perlite. And on the basis of crop, the market is categorized into lettuces, microgreens, tomatoes, herbs, peppers, cucumbers, berries, and others. So based on the system of growing, we have different classification in the crops. This is a little detail of the whole system that I was explaining to you earlier. Now, the global ag market, this is just a picture, a diagram, which I just liked it. I got it from the internet. I wanted to share this with you. See, there are the global agriculture market. Now we are going into the details of the scope. For people who are really interested in hydroponics or growing or farming, it's not only the growing part that is relevant, but the subsidiaries, the accessories that are required for this growing to happen is the big market, which is around the hydroponic market, around the world, around the point where there is a feed. First thing is, it's like a technology. What type of technology is available? They are offering lots of technologies. There's hardware, there is software, there are services. So each and every individual, with his level of interest and level of knowledge, he could sharpen himself and make himself such that he could fit into any of these ag markets. That is, it could be a guidance technology, it could be a remote sensing. If he is more into a global precision farming market, which is projected at 9.6 billion, the precision farming needs all these types of technologies, all these types of IoTs, all this type of computer generated big data that will help in doing commercialized farming. So that would be, requiring a lot of technical expertise. So it is not only the people who are from the agriculture background, but also people from the IT background or from any other backgrounds. It could be even from the commercial aspects, or it could be from logistics. It could be from, financials. It could be from any part that they could integrate with the global ag market. Yield monitoring is a very important aspect. Field mapping, crop scouting. With the help of drones, you could scout. You could understand where the problem lies for either nutrient deficiency or pest disease attack. Weather tracking and forecasting is a very good application whereby you could forecast weather and track the weather and give out information to the people around, the farmers, the growers, that the weather prospects, the weather aspects. Irrigation management, it's a very important part. Irrigation management is a very important part of the whole ag system. Farm labor management, you will have a huge SOPs in the farm. So all those SOPs have to be perfectly in place to have your company or your firm in doing a very good business. And also the financial management. And you could just see the market share by geography. Let's not go into that because I already explained a little about it earlier. So all these things will impact, give a huge impact or give a huge impetus for the growing agriculture market and the growing demand for people, for relevant people who understand and who would like to, go into this field of, into this trust industry. So from a grower's perspective, I would like to just brief a few points. See, for producing a safe and a quality produce, I'm just breaking down them into smaller entities so that people understand the opportunities or the scope, or they could streamline their careers. They could target such options of the growing aspect of hydroponic farming or urban agriculture or soilless farming. It could be auditors. You talk of safe product, then you will have to implement Global GAP, which is good agriculture practices. You have to implement ISO. You will have to implement HACCP or any sort of, if you're talking of post-harvest handling or pack house handling of vegetables or ready-to-eat foods, you will have to have it BRC certified, or it could be LEAF, you're linking environment and farming, or it could be any sort of certifications. So you just be aware of these certifications. You could get into expert advice, to give expert advice to the farms on these aspects. So this will include QC and QA, where you have vegetables being procured from various farms of the same company or of different companies, or you are dispatching, you're trading with other companies. Then you have this Indo-vertical farm, data analysts, because the grower or the research analyst, whoever is there, helping to promote, helping to improve this present system, can develop his technology by the assistance of this data analyst. You will have app. You could develop apps, and the basic hydroponic grower, a graduate from agriculture or an enthusiast who is good at botany or physics or chemistry, because hydroponics includes all sorts of the sciences. It includes physics, it includes chemistry, it includes biology, everything. Indo vertical farm, greenhouse growers, everything could be matched with this. There should be a specialty in exotic vegetables. There is a scope for people who would like to go into exotic vegetables, lettuces, leafy greens, herbs, or edible flowers. Hydroponic equipments. It could be equipments. It could be sort of software or hardware equipments. That's a very big, when you're talking of commercial farming, it requires a huge setup, which requires hardware and software that has to be updated and made usable for the grower. It could be hydroponic instructors. It could be instructors in the sense giving lessons, teaching the people, teaching staff, or teaching your own people on your farm or in your universities. And the other is the grow media. There are various types of grow media. So you could place yourself in promoting or in the sales of grow media. It could be either coco peat or perlite. It could be a blend. It could be fortified. There are so many other scopes and variants of grow media. Precision ag. When you're talking about precision ag, it's a job specialization based on market demand. So it could be market demand. The market demands growing chambers. So the precision ag could have people who would be perfect, who would be an expert in constructing and building and operating grow chambers, plumbing, pumps, and tubing for all the systems, LED grow lights. LED grow light is a very big business in the Indo vertical farm, especially in areas where land is not arable, temperature is not conducive to growth, especially in areas like the Middle East and the desert areas. HVAC is very important, has a very important role to play, because you need to have heating in colder regions, air conditioning, cooling in the warmer regions. You should have ventilation. You should be able to understand various parameters of temperature control, humidity, relative humidity, vapor pressure. So all these have a very big scope when you're talking of hydroponic market. And the growing supplies is that's a different market completely. You need seeds, fertilizers, nutrients, minerals, whatever that is required for growing. That's a very big aspect of the hydroponic industry. Control equipment, sensors, accessories, control parameters, whatever sensors that could be added on. That depends upon the level of automation. If you want your firm, your project to be highly controlled, you could implement a lot of control sensors that are easily available in the market, that will help you in your cultivation, that will be also helpful in growing your crops to feed the world. Also IoT. When I'm talking of IoT, it requires a very big farm requires, when I'm talking of commercial farming, drones for field monitoring, soil monitoring sensors, machines, all your machines, your tractors, your harvesters, every machine that is required for your routine operations. Water management is very important. Post-harvest handling and packing using biodegradable materials. So supply of biodegradable materials, or research, or more type of research and development in the biodegradable material to save the planet. When you're talking of hydroponics, you're talking of something which is beyond organic. So you should not be packing them in your plastic PET clamshell containers to supply. It would be more advisable if you are supplying it in biodegradable materials. Nutrient uptake rates and mobility, composition of nutrients. So these are all these parameters that you are seeing on your screen are targeted towards the science graduates, the agriculture graduates who would be passing out, or who are already passed out and are venturing into areas of hydroponics or soilless cultivation. It's another project is like the breeding seeds for hydroponics. There are hardly any seeds that are specifically made for hydroponics, and one or two companies in the US are coming up with such an idea. So what hydroponic growers are using are the normal seeds that are being bred for a normal cropping pattern, but it's not basically for hydroponics. Water analysis is a very big aspect, because you need to check, apart from pH and EC, you have to check the physical, chemical, and microbiological contaminants that are available in the water. So water analysis, or Crop analysis is also a major aspect whereby, it's like a laboratory analysis. You send your samples for testing, and the carbon dioxide emission and putting carbon dioxide into the crop, into the indoor vertical farm or into glass houses. So that's a very big aspect of fitting yourself into the industry. Nursery, raising nurseries. There are big farms whereby they grow nurseries, they grow plantlets, they grow saplings and supply to farmers in a very nice and controlled environment. They specifically grow the specified seedling that is required by the farmer. So that's a very important aspect whereby you could go into nursery breeding, especially for hydroponic farms. And of course, the IoT, that is never ending. It is, it is such that, there is automation, robotics, and data capture. Management systems can make farming less complex and labor intensive, and thus less labor intensive, and thus there is more attractive for a job opportunity. You will have more people coming into that. And I'm talking of the subcontinent, India especially, it's like, let me just run through these slides very fast. The hydroponic market in India is growing at a rate of 13.53. It is forecasted the next 5 to 7 years, 13.53 CAGR. So you could see the growth rate. And 85% of exotic vegetables are imported from neighboring countries. So here lies the scope for the growers or for the farmers who are venturing into hydroponics and soilless cultivation, or even urban ag. Food and grocery retail in India is exceeding now. The retail industry is expected to grow at 1.6 trillion by 2026. So by 2021, food and grocery segment in India is estimated to constitute about 66% of the total revenue from the Indian retail sector. So you can just imagine the scope, imagine the opportunities that have to be tapped. Organized market is only 3%. Unorganized market is 97%. Unorganized market is, your general stores, kirana stores, and there are more than 15 million such stores all over the country. So organized market is only 3%. So there your scope lies, your opportunity lies there. And when you're talking of global organized food grocery retail market size is growing at around 5%, which is a strong indicator of growth of potential in the years to come. The organized sector, I'm talking of gourmet stores, department stores, discount stores, supermarket, hire market, e-tailers, cash and carry formats. So it is, by 2027, it's 17.3 trillion. So you have a huge place to fit yourself when you talk of hydroponic. Why I'm talking about all this is because, the two most significant trends emerging rapidly in the food market is expansion of imported food categories. People are looking for imported food. They're talking about gourmet food. They're talking about diet foods, healthy foods, detox bars. This is because of opening up of all economies, and people are traveling around more. People are more experimental nowadays. Purchasing power has increased. And you see, the gourmet food market is around 20% for the coming years. So these could be overcome by, embracing high-tech and advanced control environment agriculture. You could see behind me the indoor vertical farms. Also, there is a challenge in the Indian market. The Indian population, which is at the age of 20 and below, is around 41% of India's population. So you have 365 billion people to feed. So I was talking to you about a surprise crop, and it's about edible flowers. It is the new age garnish. That could be nasturtium, pansies, daisies, mums, roses, anything. It imparts color and flavor to a dish. This is only one aspect which I would like to stress, and this is targeted to high-end markets, high-end restaurants and HoReCa segment, especially to fine dining restaurants. These are highly nutritious. It contains a lot of vitamins, antioxidants. It is used in the food and beverage industry, cocktails, savory dishes, salads, used in bakeries, in desserts, and in tea. I would like to conclude that, it's not just an agriculture graduate that fits himself in the modern day urban agriculture, but it involves, I was already mentioning, it involves plant pathology, plant physiology, agri-engineering, soil science, agri-economics, economics, physics, chemistry, maths, biology to project ourselves in this present world to meet the requirements of the standards of the United Nations SDGs of 2030. We would have to have ourselves, completely target-oriented and make each and every aspect of the whole trust industry so perfect that there is a scope for every one of us. It's a big cake, so let's dig into it. And it's not the strongest of the species that survives, but the most adaptable. So, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I always say this: let us jump off the cliff. We will grow wings. Thank you so much, and these are my contact details. If there's any questions, I could take.
Hello,
as
sir.
Of now.
Thank you very much.